And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction from both the left and the right. First up, Bernie Goldberg, who joins us now from North Carolina. And you say?
I say that I agree with your analysis, and I would add one word to the conversation, just one word. The word is tolerance, which is a very important word in the liberal vocabulary because it's what distinguishes them, in their mind anyway, from conservatives who they think are intolerant. The problem, Bill, is that as liberals became more and more tolerant of all the right things, like equal rights for everybody, they became indiscriminately tolerant. So by their silence, they became tolerant of 15-year-old girls having babies. By their silence, they became tolerant of boys and young men who abandon their children. They even became tolerant of violence in inner city neighborhoods of our big cities by either downplaying or flat out ignoring the violence. And the media are also tolerant because they don't want to cover these stories. Tolerance is normally and usually a good thing, but not always. Not when we're tolerant of dysfunctional and destructive behavior. And then, who does it hurt, Bill? Not you, not me, but it hurts the very people that these tolerant liberals claim to care about the most.
Well, and it also hurts the country, though. See, the country
yes,
now, it's all coming down to the haves and the have-nots. All right, it's the haves and the have-nots. All right, and when you look at the have-nots, there's no one trying to solve their problem. This aunt that came on the air, not only did she say that the police didn't have a right to defend themselves from a 14-year-old, they didn't know how old he was. He's a guy in the street at 3 in the morning with a gun shooting it, turning on them. I mean, any human being would have defended themselves. But the aunt, no, they don't have a right to do that. And she believes it. She believes it. Okay, this woman, has been inculcated to the victimization. So, we're oppressed, they're after us, they're gunning us down, bop, 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 bop. And then you see the 3 black kids on the bus could have killed, as the bus driver said, the white kid. Everybody ignores it totally.
That's right.
The situation is not being dealt with honestly, Bernie, and that is harming our country.
Absolutely true. And in the case of the aunt, as you said, people, in turmoil after something like this say foolish things. But let's take that case on the bus. This was look, whether that was a racial attack or not, and I suspect that it was, just as I suspect that race had something to do with the Trayvon Martin situation. This was a great opportunity, not for an aunt or a mother or a brother, but for the civil rights industry, as you call it, for Al Sharpton, for instance, to say whether race had anything to do with this or not, we will not tolerate this. We, black people, will not tolerate this.
That would be bad for Sharpton's business to do that. But I disagree with you on the racial motive.
Let me just make the point.
Wait, Bernie, I got to make this point because it's important and it's in context. All right, and I'll give you the last word. The fight was about this kid, this white kid, objecting to the sale of drugs by these 3 black kids, okay?
Right.
I think, and he confronted him and said, look, I don't want this in my face, all right? And then they beat him up. I think if the kid had been black, they would have beat him up too. So I don't think it was racial on this one. All right, go ahead.
Let me say this. Anytime 3 white kids beat up a black kid, I'm guessing race has something to do with it. And anytime 3 black kids beat up a white kid, I'm guessing race also has something to do with it. But on the Sharpton matter, he could have gained some credibility.
No, he doesn't care.
He
doesn't care. He's talking to his people. He doesn't want credibility. He wants to be a demagogue. That's what he wants to be.
He's like the Palestinians. He never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity, and he missed it on that one.
Bernie, he doesn't care. His rhetoric over the last month, attacking me dishonestly and everything else, has shown him for what he is. He's a hustler. You know it, I know it, and everybody else knows it.